Okay, I am so excited to start talking about this book that I just started working on again. So before I do that, I just want to say thank you all for clicking on my video, and I hope you all had a safe, happy New Year's. I live on the square, and there's like a bar that's like next door to me down, but it's called Bottoms Up. And there was a lot of loud people like behind my apartment, so it sounded like they were loading stuff up. I'm not like really sure, but yeah, I didn't really do anything for the New Year's. I just stayed home, and I had been working at the flower shop and stuff, so and of course I've been working on other projects, and I'm just like really excited to start so this video I really want to talk about. I recently just started working on this book. I started actually writing this book after my grandma had passed away. And at first it was just going to be like just a little short story about a girl that was really close with her grandma. And then she ended up passing away, and it was going to be like an inspirational story about a grandma. Oh, Batman just jumped up here. Hi, Batman. Behave, please. I really wanted to talk about my character, Meadow. At first, I was only gonna do this from Summer's point of view. Well, then, for some reason, I was like, okay, maybe I need to do another point of view. Because it's really hard for me, like when I'm writing a book, it's really hard for me to only do like a one point of view book. So I was like, I can do a point of view from Summer. Well, I just realized something. My character, Meadow, her name was supposed to have been Skyla Kemper. I forgot I had this book. Summer is the main character, but I needed like 3 main characters. So I should have looked on the back of this, but I like the name Meadow, so I think I'll keep Meadow. And then I can do Meadow Kemper. I actually got that name from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Jessica Biel in it. The character she plays has a boyfriend named Kemper, and she calls him Kemp. So I was like, oh, I love that. Meadow's character, I was really trying to figure out what her backstory was. And I've said this plenty of times, like in my videos, I have to pick something from either my childhood or my personality just to try to for me, it would be a lot easier for me to work on the character. So I was like, well, what am I going to do? It was kind of a little bit hard. My mom did daycare. I didn't want to do that, so I already have that for an idea in like a book series that I have not started yet. I really need to, but I haven't yet. So Meadow's character, I was like, okay, I've been emotionally abused. I've been put down. I've been told that I would amount to nothing. So I was like, okay, I'll kind of have Meadow kind of experience that. And then she is a rebel. So she sometimes like doesn't listen to her mom. And the chapter I'm working on, let me find it. I'm working on Metamorphosis 2 as I'm working on this. So just a real quick thing. I kind of realized that I'm gonna have to like not change the title completely. It's called If She Believes in Summer Flowers. I just took out if she, and then I'm just gonna call it Believe in Summer Flowers, because there's like 3 point of views, and there's like, I'm gonna do like a point of view from the murderer in this book. That's another whole video. I don't want to talk about that. But so I've been doing, so I finally figured out what I want Meadow's like childhood to be like and stuff. So she lives with her mom and her mom's boyfriend because her dad left when she was really young. And her mom in this novel isn't very, she's not very nice. She's like negative, and she kind of puts Meadow down a little bit. And her mom's boyfriend, she does not like her mom's boyfriend at all, because he has like a drinking problem, and Meadow feels like her mom is loves him more than her. So, and she kind of finds out that her mom only wants him for his check. So I'm just like, okay, I can use that, I guess. So I made that up. And then, so then this other part that I did, since I grew up out in the country and I was raised like around cats and dogs and chickens and cows, I've had my characters like, let me think. My character, Gina, had a cat growing up. And then I already did 2 dogs and a short story in Awakened Evil, King and Queen, which they're both German Shepherds. I'll give her a cat to have. And that's when I was like, where can she get the cat? So I went on the internet and I was typing, I typed in like popular cat breeds, and I came across a cat called a Maine Coon. And I was like, wow, they're gorgeous. They're beautiful. So I got really excited, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so much fun. I did watch like a lot of videos on YouTube about like Maine Coons. So if you guys don't know what a Maine Coon is or what they look like, I did find one. I found a picture. This is a picture that I think this might be the pet that that Meadow is going to have growing up. And these cats, they cost a lot of money, like a couple $1,000s. And I read like on a website that if you find a cat at an animal shelter, you'll get it for cheap. Or if you go to like an actual breeder, it is a couple $1,000s. And Meadow, she's not poor, but they just don't have a lot of money to like just give a couple thousand. So there's this YouTube channel that I watch. I'm having a lot of fun writing about the Maine Coon, and I've been writing down like a whole bunch of things that I need to know about these type of cats. I've been doing a lot of like research like on these Maine Coons, and they're so beautiful. Okay, so they come in like cream, silver, black and white, tabby, multicolor. Batman? Oh, what are you doing? Are you trying to kill him? The Maine Coons are really interesting because I just did like a ton of like watching videos about them and stuff, and I wrote a scene where I had to think back to when I went and adopted Batman. And I did a lot of I had to think. So I wrote a scene. It's sort of similar to my experience, but I wanted it to be Meadow's point of view. Like, I just wanted it to be like her moment. And that scene was just a lot of fun to write. I'm really glad that I got back into working on this book. So I was telling my friend about it, and she said, See, that's what I told her. I said, I think that's why Stephen King is like a bestseller, because he writes about things that like reality, like what really happens. Like I'm getting ready to do a school visit at the high school this Wednesday. I am a little nervous, but I am excited to do it. And I was watching this video, and Stephen King said that he gets his book ideas from real life. So for The Shining, he had went to a hotel, and that's where The Shining came from. And then he was on a bike, and he went to this guy's dooryard. That's what they called it back then. And this Saint Bernard came out, and then he got the idea to write a book called Cujo. And then Pet Sematary, he lived in a house where he was close by a cemetery, and he said that his youngest son had ran for the road, and it scared him half to death, and he took off and ran after him and pulled him out just in time. He added that in the book. So that's where Pet Sematary had came from. And then Mr. Mercedes, he said that he was trying to think of his next novel to write, and there was job applicants at McDonald's, and this one woman, I guess, found out that her husband was cheating with this other woman that was applying to work at McDonald's, and she got in her car, got there, gave her a few punches, and then this woman got back in the car and backed out over a bunch of people. And Stephen King's like, I gotta write about that. So then he wrote Mr. Mercedes. I was thinking about that, and I'm like, I could probably do this book from similar things that have happened to me, but just keep the story fiction, because I don't really write about things that are real close to home. I mostly make things up, but like my characters in the Keeper of Souls series, some of those characters actually have a few things that had happened in my real life, but I had to do it from their point of view. So I did have a lot of fun doing that. And I'm really excited to write about like the Maine Coon. And when I write from Meadow's point of view, I just have to be careful to not like actually accidentally write things that really happened. If I did do that, I could always like change the dialogue and just stuff like that.
Sometimes less is more. It's all too much, and the chick is reduced to begging. He taps on Mom's bill. If he can't stimulate her to give him some food, he'll soon succumb to hunger. Be a mouthful away from death.
This just happened. I was sitting on the couch, and I was like trying to think of a state to do the setting for my the setting for in my book, and I'm like, well, maybe I should do Maine, because the Maine Coon comes from Maine. So I'm like, okay, I'll do Maine Coon. Well, I was watching a Stephen King interview thing where he gets on stage and he talks to people behind a microphone and tells his stories, and he'll read and stuff. And I just wanted to see what he was up to. So I got on my phone and I looked at like the news, and then I went to all, and it showed where he was born. Portland, Maine. And I was just like, oh my Lord. Because before I found out he was born in Portland, I was like, I need to do a setting. And I was looking at all these towns in Maine, and I couldn't even pronounce half of them. And I was like, I'll just do Portland because I can, you know, use it. I can pronounce it right. So I was like, okay, I'll do Portland, Maine. And then I get on the internet, and then I find out that Stephen King was born in Portland, Maine. I was just like, oh my Lord, that's crazy. So that was just something I just wanted to, you know, tell you guys.